Okay, Joe Biden. Now, this has been an interesting case study. There has been fear and concern over the weaknesses of Hillary Clinton. Her polling numbers have been in the tank for most of the campaign. She does not excite anybody. She doesn't draw any crowd. She doesn't sell any books. She has no connection with Democrat voters at all on a personal basis. She has really no audience, if you want to look at it in that way. She's considered, she's a de facto fait accompli frontrunner, much like she was in 2008. It's her turn. It's her time. Democrat Party, it's her theory, owes her for all of the personal sacrifices she made going way back to when she left college and moved to Arkansas with Bill Clinton. Everything she's done, she had to endure one humiliation after another. She's the most cheated on woman in America, by far. I mean, there's nobody even close. Not even porn stars. Hillary leads everybody in most cheated on woman in America status and category. She gave up everything that she could have been, and she was reputed to have been able to do whatever she wanted. Smartest woman in the world to come out of Wellesley and out of Yale, and instead she hitched up with the horned dog from Little Rock and goes there while he does what he does. And every time he got in trouble, she stood by him. She maintained his political profile and helped him raise it. And it's payback time now. She has had one excrement sandwich after another. 2008 was supposed to be her time, but then somebody came along they liked more. It doesn't take much. And it was thought to be somebody with an easier chance at winning, and I'd be Barack Hussein. Oh, Mrs. Clinton was shocked and stunned that the power brokers in the party allowed that to happen. She really, 2008 was supposed to be her coronation, and McCain was the fall guy. Whoever the Republicans nominated, it was Hillary. It was this was the loop being closed. This was the circle being closed. This was all the due bills coming into collection at one moment. And then here comes Obama and the Democrat power structure. The first chance they got, they abandoned Hillary. They left her at the presidential altar, and they got bed with Obama, and the rest is history. Now we're back. It's 2008 all over again. Fait accompli. It's her turn. She's owed. It's a coronation. It's her entitlement to be the nominee and to become president, and now somebody else has popped up. And that's the old codger Bernie Sanders, who's obviously more popular than she is, who draws many more crowds and much larger crowds than she does. Bernie Sanders actually connects with these Looney Tunes that show up at his crowds, or at his appearances. I mean, it's Loon City, but at least they're loyal. They love the guy. Hillary doesn't have that. She doesn't have any love. She has not very much respect. She's got a fake loyalty in a certain Democrat sector because it's her turn. She's owed. Now, her poll numbers are still in the tank. She's on, her third or fourth announcement that she's running. She's just off a Saturday Night Live appearance to reintroduce herself again as a human being instead of a Nurse Ratched robot. And it's said to have gone pretty well, but it's still up for grabs just how human she came off. Now another cog has been tossed in, and that's Joe Biden. It's been lurking out there as a possibility. You combine that with the drip email news that the regime has continued to populate the news business with. There have been increasing doubts raised about Hillary and her whole email apparatus, how secure it was, and whether she'd been selling access. I've never seen this much negativism about somebody who remains a viable candidate. I really haven't. Anybody else would be long gone by now as having no chance whatsoever. The odds of being indicted are much greater than being elected. And yet there she is. So Biden's been lurking out there, and it all really got started at the time of the sad and unfortunate death of the vice president's son, Beau Biden. And shortly after Beau Biden was pronounced dead, a story appeared in the drive-by media. The story was that Beau Biden, half of his face paralyzed due to his illness, begged his father to run for president for him. That news just popped up. It just appeared. At the time, nobody questioned it, because who would? The last dying words of a loved and loving son, who would dare pop up and question the veracity of that? So it was just accepted. And that created an emotional bond between some Democrats and Biden, and even in some a sense of inevitability. Why, this must be cosmic and filled with karma. Dying son, last breath, please, Dad, do it for me. This was accompanied by news stories that Joe was so distressed and so emotionally bereft over the death of the beloved son that he didn't know if he could go on. He didn't know if he had the emotional fortitude and the energy to actually engage in the rigors of a presidential campaign. And while all that was being said, the last dying words of the beloved son rang in the air. Please, Dad, do it for me. There was no doubt in my mind what the end result of all this was going to be. And as we got further and further away from the sad day of the death of the son of Joe Biden, the news about Biden's candidacy intensified. And its likelihood and possibility continued also to intensify on the positive side. Bernie Sanders is still out being Looney Tunes with his audience, and Hillary is still trying to be human and connect with people and going on Saturday Night Live. The people are still asking, what if Joe gets in? What if Joe gets in? If Joe gets in, will Obama really lower the boom? Will there be an indictment on Hillary? Because it's always been assumed Obama's pulling the levers on all this. So here you have a presumptive Democrat nominee. Let's just stop at this point and take stock of where we are. A presumptive Democrat nominee, Hillary Clinton. Second presidential campaign in a row, from 2008 to this year, where it's hers. It is her time. It is her coronation. The Democrat Party is now going to make it official and make her the nominee and coronate her president in a giant act of terrific appreciation, gratitude, and thanks for all she did to maintain the viability of Bill Clinton and thus the Democrat Party. But despite that, over there's Bernie Sanders, and now lurking over there's Joe Biden. And it becomes clear to an objective observer that there's a whole lot of Democrats who have not signed on to this Hillary Clinton coronation. Because if it really were Hillary's campaign, Biden wouldn't be getting anywhere near it. I mean, if it was an official party decision that this is Hillary's time, it's her turn, she's owed this, then Biden wouldn't be getting, and Bernie Sanders would have been taken care of by now. If it was really, really written in stone that Hillary's the nominee, they wouldn't allow all this stuff within the party to go on that just serves to weaken her. Not to mention what the Republicans are doing. She has to know this. She has to be sitting there in the privacy of wherever she is, in Chappaqua or Washington, wherever she is, she has to be seething. This is the second time in a row they're trying to take it away from her. She's got to be privately seething and plotting how she's going to get even with everybody. So she got Huma working overtime. She's got Sidney Blumenthal working overtime. Oppo Research is at full speed ahead. Hillary allies and media doing everything they can. But still, it's not hers. And today we have a story from the Politico. It's an exclusive. The headline, Biden himself leaked word of his son's dying wish. Subheadline is, the vice president is mourning. He is also calculating. Here is the thrust of the story. Joe Biden has been making his 2016 deliberations all about his late son since August. August 1st, to be exact, the anniversary of the Excellence in Broadcasting Network. Also happens to be the day renowned Hillary Clinton critic Maureen Dowd, known in Washington as Modo, published a column that marked a turning point in the presidential speculation. According to multiple sources, it was Joe Biden himself who talked to Modo, painting a tragic portrait of a dying son. Beau Biden's face partially paralyzed, sitting his father down and trying to make him promise to run for president because, quote, this was in Modo's column, are you ready? The White House should not revert to the Clintons, and that the country would be better off with Biden values. That is what Biden told Maureen Dowd his son said to him. Beau Biden's dying words to his dad. Dad, the White House should not revert to the Clintons. The country would be better off with Biden values. It was no coincidence that the preliminary pieces around a prospective campaign started moving right after Modo's column. People read Modo, and they started reaching out. Those around the vice president would say, by way of defensive explanation, he was just answering the phone and listening. But that column by Maureen Dowd sent the signal that Joe Biden was in, and all of these people started reaching out, wanting to be part of the campaign, wanting to raise money, wanting to donate money. Meanwhile, Joe is emotionally bereft, can barely get out of bed, still mourning the death of the beloved son, Beau Biden. In truth, says the Politico, Joe Biden had effectively placed an ad in the New York Times asking these people to call him. That's what the Maureen Dowd column was. Joe Biden feeds Maureen Dowd the story of the last words of Beau Biden as he's dying. That serves as an ad. The first Biden presidential campaign ad disguised as a Maureen Dowd column, which sent the signal to donors and fundraisers and other interested parties to call Biden because he's in the game. Before that moment and since, Biden has told the Beau Biden story to many. Sometimes details change, the setting, the exact words. The version he gave Modo delivered the strongest punch to the gut, making the clearest swipe at Clinton by enshrining the idea of a campaign against her in the words of a son so beloved nationally that his advice is now beyond politics. Wait, what? What? The words of a son so beloved nationally? Who knew? I'm going to run a little focus group here. Rachel, you ever heard of Beau Biden before today? Did you beloved him? Do you have a deep affection for him? You were waiting to see what Beau Biden... You knew of him, but that was it, right? So where does this... Nothing against Beau Biden, don't misunderstand. I'm just saying, son beloved nationally? Maybe posthumously, they mean. Anyway, his dying words, Dad, this country can't take the Clintons anymore. You gotta run, man, is the way it gets translated. And so now the Clintons are out there learning about all this today in the Politico. Joe Biden didn't say it. A dying son said, how do you attack the dying son? Bill Clinton can't go out there and say, yeah, I knew that kid long before he died. He never made sense. You can't say that. You can't do it. The kid died. The young man died. You can't. They've put all of this in the words. Joe Biden himself put all of this in the words of his dying son. And now it's leaked to Modo, and the Politico has run it all down. I'm watching people on TV today, all these political pros and experts and analysts, strategists analyzing all this and suggesting, Biden, you better go out there and address this. If this isn't true, he owes it to especially the Clintons, he owes it to go out there and say that Maureen Dowd got this wrong. If this is right, then I don't know, there's going to be hell to pay in the Democrat Party. I don't think Biden said anything yet. He won't. But I'll guarantee it, I don't know how in the world Biden or anybody else will go out and throw his son, who just died, overboard. That isn't going to happen. One person who's recently spoken to Biden about the prospect of running said, calculation sort of sounds crass, but I guess that's what this is. The head is further down the road than the heart is. How stupid do they think we are? The head is further down the road than the heart is. It's sort of crass, this calculation. It's politics, for crying out loud. Anyway, bottom line is the Democrat Party is still filled with people who want nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, folks. The bottom line.